It's 11 a.m. and so I do like to start right on time. Thank you all for being here on time. A couple things I will tell you just right off the bat is that I am going to try and record just my portion of the video, and that's why I've got it spotlighted there. And but if you ask a question, your voice will be recorded. I appreciate all of you sharing your video. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Um, you don't have to. Uh, and so anyway, you don't have to, but you can. I'm glad to see everybody. Now let's talk about Chem 1010 and how it's going to work. Oh, and I'm recording this because I hope to post it in Blackboard just in case you want to review anything that we're doing today. Um, Chem 1010. Hopefully you've had a chance to review the Blackboard site. It's got a lot of good information on it about how the course works. I'm going to go over a little bit of how how the course works today, talk about what you're going to be doing during the first week. And in fact, let's see if I can do this. I'm going to pull up the Blackboard site and share it. There we go. There we go. Hopefully you can see my screen right now. I'm going to have to pull up the chat somewhere just in case anybody's got chat comments. Come on down there, chat. There we go. Okay, so hopefully you can see the screen right now, or the Blackboard site. Best place to start is with the Start Here link. And if you go under there, you'll see my office hours, my email, of course my name, I'm Bill Miller, I'm your instructor. But you'll see the office hours, including today's office hour from 2 to 2:50 p.m. You'll see the class meetings with Zoom links. And it looks like just about everybody's here, so that's great. I did have one student who I guess had an issue being asked to enter a password. Anyway, if you ever have any issues with getting to class, just email me. If you ever have any issues with something's come up, please email me. I know this is a crazy time. Just the fact that we're having this class online completely, I mean, that just tells you how crazy things are. And I really appreciate that you're here. A couple other things to review on the Start Here. So of course the Blackboard site, you're in it if you can see the what I'm showing you, but just in case. The required textbook is what's called a Libre text. What that means is that it is an online text, and this is a zero-cost course, meaning there is nothing to buy for this course, in case that was a question you had. Then we've got two tips for success. And tips for success, so we will have lecture portion, that's what we're doing right now. Attendance is required at lecture time, and in general, after today, we're going to be working through problems in the form of what's called a Kahoot. A Kahoot is like an interactive quiz, and we're going to do one later today. What'll happen is when you come to lecture next Monday, sorry, I teach a couple different classes. When you come to class next Monday, we're going to start what's called a Kahoot. And the Kahoot, which will be an interactive quiz, is based on the lecture outline that you will be turning in before you get to class. So what class time, lecture time will be used for is to review the lecture outline that you've already turned in. I will post a series of questions. We'll get a chance to answer them. And at the beginning of the semester, your grade for the Kahoot, and Kahoots will be worth either 4 or 5 points. I'm still trying to work that out. But Kahoots, I think it's 4 points actually. Kahoots will be based, your grade will be based entirely on participation. Meaning you show up, you take the Kahoot, you participate. Whether you get the questions right or wrong, 100% great. As the semester progresses, you will have to get some of the questions correct to get full points, but hopefully that won't be an issue because you'll be studying, you'll have figured out how to prepare for the lecture, how to prepare for them, and of course that's my job, is to help you do that. Now let me go over just a couple more things, then I'll be happy to take any questions you have. Homework is going to be done through Blackboard, and what I mean by that is that I'll scroll back up. Once you go to the course content, it's broken down into folders according to week one lecture. You'll click on that, and then you'll find all the different materials that you'll need for week number 1. And lecture outline 1, we'll talk about that in a minute, but let's just scroll down here to homework 1. Homework 1 is due on Friday, January 30th. If you click on homework 1, you get each of the individual questions that you have to do. And so let's look at this one. Yeah, this one's a good one. It says homework 01-07. It comes with a tutorial video that you can watch to help you do the problem. But let's say you click on the problem. It takes you to the typical Blackboard interface. You begin it, and when you do, it'll come up with a question. And the question will be how many PM, those are picometers, are in 2.06 nanometers. And that is a question that will be covered in the lecture outline. So you'll have some familiarity with it. Plus, you'll have a tutorial video to help you answer it. And when you get the correct answer, you'll just type it into this little box. And hold on. There we go. You'll type it in this little box. And then when you do, and I'm just going to type in, well, let's see. Turns out I think it's 2060. So I'll save and submit. And right away, it'll tell you whether you're right or wrong. So far, so good. I got little green check marks. But if you get it, and if you get it right, you get the points, 0.5 out of 0.5 straight away. You're good, you're done. If you get it wrong, you have as many attempts as you would like until you get it correct. And each time you're going to get a different question, but it's going to be related. So you'll be able to do it. And you can come to office hours to get help with the questions. As you've seen, you have tutorial videos. You'll have heard about it from the lecture outlines. And my goal is that even though this class is entirely online, that you will feel well supported in getting your chemistry knowledge and learning and earning the grade that you want. I see a question. Brianna, did you want to go ahead?
Yeah. Do we lose points for every attempt that we do on the homework?
Good question. So you do not lose points. So you have as many attempts as you would like to get the correct answer, and when you get that correct answer, you get full credit.
Okay, great.
Good question.
Thank you.
Yeah, because one of the things that I try and take into account is that, well, so fortunately there's lots of questions in there, so chances are you're not gonna get the same question, although a similar one, and sometimes it takes a little while to get it right, and I want to give you as many chances as it takes. So yeah. Any other questions? Crystal, go ahead.
Hi, Professor. So will we at any point use the Collaborative Ultra so that you can record these lectures and we can go back, or will we always use Zoom?
Good question. So I am actually recording just the sort of my video and just the screen right now with Blackboard. And then it does take me about 24 hours usually, but I will post the videos in a place where you can find them. I think it's going to be, I might have to make a new place for this, But yes, I will post it. It will not be in Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. We won't be in there at all. We'll always be on Zoom. And I think it's just, for better or worse, I prefer Zoom. So we'll do it in Zoom, but you'll still get to see the videos.
Okay, I just want to record it so I can go back for reference and stuff.
Of course, yeah, I know. So that's the nice thing about having the videos is, again, you can watch them as many times as you want, um, and you review portions, and what else was I gonna say? Oh, and if for some reason you miss a class, the videos are there too. So, Cindy, do you have a question?
Hi, Professor. It was about the outline.
Yeah.
So I noticed it's through Blackboard. Are we allowed to write them down on paper and send it through, or we have to do it all through Blackboard?
That's a great question. So let me go. Let's talk about the lecture outline now. So I'll get there. There it is. All right. So let's talk about lecture outlines for a minute. So, or a couple minutes, or as long as we need to. If you click here, it opens up a link to what I call the lecture outline. And the lecture outline is going to be, pardon my slow computer here, there it is. It is sort of an outline of the notes, and you're going to write the notes while watching the videos onto these sheets. Now, your question is, okay, so what are the other options, right? Because printing them, I know for some of you may be the best way to do it, and it may not be the best way for others. So here's what I want. I want a complete set of notes from the videos, and I want you to take them. Now, I have at least 3 ways to do that, and I'm open to other ways. The first way is you print out the lecture outline, and then while you watch the videos, you just write the notes on it. And then you're going to submit that as a PDF. And we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. Then a second way to do it is to download the lecture outline notes onto a tablet like an iPad, and then use your iPad to take the notes directly into the PDF. Also great. Still have to submit them. And then a third way that I've had students do in the past is they don't have a tablet and they don't want to print them. That's fine. You just have to write down from the lecture outlines all of the relevant information, and so the information that's there and the notes from the videos. So for example, on the page that I'm showing now, you would not have to write down question, how is chemistry like an onion? You would not have to write down the picture of Shrek, even though that's sort of a quote or a riff on a quote from Shrek. But you would want to write down the notes on studying for Chem 1010. And then you would write 2, studying for Chem 1010, and then you'd write what I write down during the lecture video. So that's a third way to do it at least. And hopefully, and I'm open to other methods as well. Just email me or we can talk about them. Let's see. So as far as it's written, not typed, will be good for the notes. I am open to the notes, the word parts of the notes being typed as well. I do need the equations though, and so if you can come up with a way that includes some typing and still gets all of the equations and numbers that you need for chemistry, then I'm open to that as well. So again, that's a good suggestion. Can we type it? Yes. So, but however, the notes have to be complete. So, and there are a lot of equations, there are a lot of numbers, and I'll just be straight up with you about this. Make sure you do it. So if you try and pass off your work and it's really from somebody else and I find out, you will get zeros for all of the assignments. And so just be aware of that. So anyway, Any questions? So, Crystal, your hand, it looks like it's still up. Did you have a question?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah, no worries. That's okay. Yeah. I've left my hand up for before myself. Is there a way we can have the next few lecture outlines available for the people who don't have a printer available all the time? Um, uh, I'm Adriana or Adriana. Yes. So I apologize. I only have week 1 up today, but over the next day or two, I will get weeks 2, 3, and 4 up, at least. So you can at least have, like, you have access to a printer. You can print 2 to 3 weeks worth of notes out, and I'll strive to get more of them and get them up as soon as possible. In fact, I may just try and make a folder for all the lecture outlines. That way you can have them all. Yeah, so good question too. Um, what do we write for? Oh, what do we write for the studying for Chem 1010 box? You will see when you watch the video. Let's see if I can go back there. When you watch the video for part 1 right here, it'll say, and good. So I'm recording this. I will post it later. I mentioned this in the. I will. Let's see if I can. There you go. You'll see that I write right on the notes, and when I write right on the notes, that's what you're going to write down. Okay. How do I raise my hand? Let's see. So in Zoom, you should be able to, if you go to the participants list, see if I can do it. And then, sorry, I'm moving stuff around there. Oop, look at that, I just muted myself. All right. And then there should be a little place where you can raise your hand or more. Ah, yes, good. You see it. Good. It looks like Laura, do you have a question? And then Amy.
Yes, Professor. So if you cannot do the first and the second option, the printing and the other one, so you just write down the notes manually. So how do we get them to you? Do we take a picture and send them to you, or what?
Right. Good question. Let me tackle that, and then I'll then I'll come to you, Amy and Jaleesa. So if you go back to start here, and you go all the way to the bottom, you'll see Blackboard How-Tos. And inside Blackboard How-Tos, there's a how to submit a PDF using what's called the Adobe Scan app that I have on my phone. And so what you do is you basically you take pictures of each page of notes in your Adobe Scan app, and it automatically turns it into a PDF. And then you can either upload it directly from your phone, or sometimes what I do is I email it to myself so I get it on my laptop, and then I upload it. Okay? So hopefully, and there are other apps. So it says if you have an iPhone, you can go to Note to scan your paper to PDF. Yes, there are lots. So I think Cam Scanner was a popular one with students last semester. But if you just Google picture to PDF or camera to PDF, there'll be a whole bunch of options. And what I like about Adobe Scan, first of all, I think it's available on iPhone and Android, at least. And it makes small PDFs. So your PDFs don't take up a lot of space on your phone or hard drive. And I have to download all these PDFs, so it doesn't take me long to download them. So, all right, I think that was you, Laura. So let's check in with Amy. And if you still have a question, Laura, I'll come back to you in a minute. Amy, do you have a question?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
So my question is, do you want us to combine the online lecture notes with the lecture notes that we're going to do right now today?
Okay, so you don't have to take any notes today.
Okay.
Okay.
But usually on Mondays, on our usual lecture times, would you like us to combine both notes together?
Well, so it's a good question. I think let me see if I can clear it up. So,
Okay.
yeah, no, sorry, it's totally new. It's a good question. So, when you come, okay, so the lecture outline 1 is due before Monday's lecture. It's due Sunday night, and
Okay.
you'll turn it in as a PDF, and then you can use it during lecture, because during lecture on Monday, we will do sort of an interactive quiz called a Kahoot, and it will be based on knowing the lecture outline that you just turned in. So you want to have that available.
Okay.
But you can combine notes however you like that is useful to you. I will not need any notes based on the Kahoot that we do during lecture time. Those will be just for you to study from. Like, so, and the way that you'll be graded for your Kahoot is by being there, and you'll see, like, it's like a little multiple choice quiz where everybody, and we'll do one in about 20, 30 minutes, I think. But you'll see what it's like, and then I have a way of knowing that you participated because I can download your answers, basically.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
I
so and
understand.
sorry about that. But yeah, good. That makes sense. And then
Right.
let's see. Wait a minute. So, I'm sorry, I'm a little lost. Was that you, Amy, or do you?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right. So yeah, so that's sort of a little bit about workflow. So you're going to do a lecture outline, take notes on it, submit it as a PDF. Then you're going to come to the next lecture time. We will do a interactive Kahoot quiz on what you just learned from watching the videos. And then 4 or 5 days or 3 to 5 days later, you'll have homework due and a recitation due, and those are both sets of problems where you turn in your work. Or for the homework, you do work through the problems and you submit your answers. Um, so I see a question. Can you please put that as a reminder on announcement until we get used to it? Okay, good. So here's what I've found is the best way to look for what's due is you go over here and you go to course calendar. Under course calendar, under the course tools in Blackboard, it will come up with a list of everything that's due by due date. And so let's see, there on the 24th, if you click on it, is lecture outline 1. So you immediately know that's due. It tells you what time it's due. And well, I get to see edit this assignment because I'm in teacher mode now, but you'll probably see go to this assignment, and then you can go to it and do it. And then actually this color green is an assignment that I have because I'm taking a course. And then you can see on the 30th, when there's a long list, that's when the homework's going to be due. So and there's about 20 questions, sometimes 15, sometimes 20. Each of them only worth, 0.25 to 1 points. And then you can go in and do it and submit it. And so I know it looks like a lot of homework, and to be honest, it is quite a bit of homework, but you'll be able to do it because you've done a lecture outline about it, you've done a Kahoot about it, and you have tutorial videos for a lot of them. Okay? And so again, yeah, good. Where is the recitation? Also, so wait a minute, let me go back. On the schedule, it says this upcoming Monday we will have lecture outline 1+2. Will you do a Kahoot for both? So I think it'll just be so I think the Kahoot for lecture outline 1 will be Monday, and the Kahoot for lecture outline 2 will be Wednesday. So there'll be so and that that'll pretty much always be how it works. We'll always be um, you'll always do the lecture outline first, and then as we can get through material, we'll do a Kahoot about them. So it may be a couple days later, it may be even up to a week later, but you'll always, like, that's the process. Watch videos, fill out the notes at the same time, then do a Kahoot, then turn in homework. And after, so that's the process. Where is the recitation? So recitation has its own Zoom link on the Start Here page. And let's see. So just to be aware, half the class has recitation on Monday, and half the class has recitation on Wednesday. LDO1 is the Wednesday one. And so that's why you see a Wednesday recitation link here and a Wednesday lab link. So if I go to LDO7, that's when, if those students who are in that will see a Monday recitation and a Monday lab. And the Monday lab is actually taught by another instructor. And so I have to talk to the instructor for the Monday lab to get a link here for that. That may be in Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, actually, because she has the freedom to do the lab as she would like. All right, good. We're moving through a lot of information about how the course works. Do we have a text to follow? Okay, so, another word about recitation. In recitation, there will be a recitation assignment. There's no recitation assignment for week 1 because we don't have a Monday, and it wasn't fair to have an assignment just for the Wednesday people. So when I post the week 2 folder, inside it you'll see a document that has 4 to 7 problems to do during the recitation time. All right, do we have a text to follow? And then I'll get to how do labs work. The text is a Libre text. It's right here. I just clicked on it. If we go there, it will take me to another link. Chem 1010 General Chemistry 1 textbook. And there it is. And then you'll see all the different material that we'll be going through. More or less, lecture outline 1 is chapters 1 and 2. So, and this, anyway, this is, I would say, it's a pretty good text. And it is online and it is free. How do labs work for this class? Labs work, basically you come to lab, we work through a handout of questions. You do most of it during lab. Sometimes you'll do all of it. Sometimes you'll have some questions to fill up or to answer after lab. And then a day or two later, you turn in a PDF of your work. And I will tell you exactly what pages you have to turn in. And I'll be hopefully very clear about what you need to do. And now seems like a good time to talk about how to get an A in this course. So to get an A, you need to get 90% of the points for the class. Of course, right? That sounds familiar. Now, there are 2 types of points for this class. And I'll go ahead and stop sharing for a minute. There are 2 types of points for this class. There are exam points, and those are the hard points. And then there are lecture outline, Kahoot, recitation, lab, and homework points. And those 5 type of points make up, I think, 30 or 35% of the points for the class. And lab, Kahoot, lecture outline, homework, and recitation, all of those points, if you come to office hours, if you email me, if you participate in lecture, if you ask questions, you can get all of those points. And it will take time. Doing the homework, not a short thing. You should expect 3 to 6 hours just on the homework each week. Okay? And Some people come to office hours and do their homework because they feel like that's efficient. Good job. Happy to have that happen. Some people do the homework and then just whenever they have a question, they stop by office hours. Anyway, 30 to 35% of the class you can get, and they're not exam points. And I will support you in any way I can to get 100% of those points. And then there's the exam points. Those are harder. But if you do all of this work, my idea is the exams will be easier. They won't be easy, but they'll be easier, and you will get good grades on the exams. And in fact, because there are so many of these points, these homework points and Kahoot points and lecture online points, if you get I think it's an 85% average on your exams, these points get you an A for the course. So you don't have to get A's on the exams. It would be nice, but you only have to get about an 85. And if you want to get a B, I think you have to get a 72 average on your exams. So anyway, now, exams. You also get 3 attempts at each exam. I keep your highest one. That's the beauty of doing this online, is when you take an exam, you'll get 3 attempts. I keep the highest percentage one. Each attempt has different, though similar questions, so that's why I can offer you 3 attempts. And the one drawback to getting the 3 attempts is there's really not much partial credit. So you either get them right or wrong, but you get 3 attempts, and I think it works out relatively well from the student perspective. At least that's what I heard last semester. Anyway, and then every once in a while I will put a 10-point problem on one of the exams, and for 10-point problems I will go back and award partial credit. So there are some problems, a small percentage of problems on the exams that you can get partial credit for. So, but you do get 3 attempts, and what I would do is, after doing all these points, all my homework, all my Kahoots, all my lecture outlines, for those 3 attempts, you have 3 days, 72 hours. So one good approach that students have done is they do all their studying, all their work, and then they take the exam once. They see what they're up against, and then they study for another day, and then and you can even come to office hours and ask me questions, review topics that are on the exam. Very good. Then the second day, they take it a second time. And then if they're happy, great, and if not, they can take it a third time with more studying. And that, I realize, takes a lot of time. We may or may not all have that time. In fact, I know that students who work the night shift, students who have families, full-time jobs. Anyway, I understand if it's not possible, but it's there for you if you can do it. Okay? And I am more than happy to have you shoot for an A and support that. If the best you can do is to shoot for a C and get this darn class done with so you never have to take it again, great. No, I am there to support that as well, and everywhere in between. I realize some of you may be taking full course loads, which is a lot. Some of you, this may be your only course, and you've got so many other things in your life. Anyway, my job is to help you learn this material, and I'm hoping that your experience is that I take this job seriously. And one of my favorite things to say is that chemistry, Chem 1010, any chemistry course, is hard enough when you get all of your questions answered. It is much harder when you don't. So please ask questions. And we've already seen a number of people ask some really good questions this morning. I think there was a question that I was trying to answer. It's like you asked me what time it is, and I told you how to build a watch with all this material. But yes, that was a bit about exams. So, and I think really that's all that I wanted to tell you about how the course works. I want to leave a few minutes for questions. And then we're going to do a practice Kahoot and just make sure that we feel comfortable with that. Does anybody have any questions right now?
Yes, professors. To clarify, we're not doing the lecture handout today.
Yes.
Or we're not going to turn that in.
Right. So we're not going to do the lecture outline and watch the videos today. That's sort of your homework for this week, right? Because you'll notice there's the first actual homework assignment is not due until I want to say the 30th. So
Right.
yeah, today is all about getting ready for everything in class. So after today, what you'll do, and in fact,
Okay.
there was no lab this morning for Wednesday lab people. There will be no recitation after this class for Wednesday recitation people, because everybody's work between now and Monday is to start on the lecture outline, start and finish on the lecture outline, and I think that's enough. Okay. So
Excuse me.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, concerning the exams, are you going to take the best score out of the three, or they mean?
The best. Yeah, no. So
or the average?
no, the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then let's see. So if there's anybody else who's got a question, I see. So for clarification, we will do the lecture outlines on our own time and with the videos, then go over them next class. So yes. So by Sunday night at 11:59, you need to somehow get that lecture outline, watch all of the lecture outline 1 videos, and then turn those lecture notes that you make into a PDF and submit it in Blackboard. Okay, so very good. And let's see, summarize everything. Yeah, so that's the big summary between now and Monday. On Monday, so Monday lab people will have lab at 8 a.m. Then we will have lecture at 11 a.m. And at 11 a.m. I will say about 10 minutes before, I will put up a Kahoot code so you can all log into Kahoot. Then during lecture, we will go through some Kahoot problems, and your participation will get you 4 points. So please plan on being there. And then Monday, recitation people will stick around, and I will have a recitation assignment for Monday recitation people, which will be 4 or 5 problems that we will work on during recitation. 4 to 7 problems anyway. All right. And then Wednesday lab people will do lab with me. We'll have recitation with me after lecture, and then during lecture we'll have another Kahoot, probably on lecture outline 2. It may still be partially on lecture outline 1. We'll see how it goes, right? Part of this class for me is we have a bunch of material to get through, and but we don't want to go through it so we don't understand it. We want to go through it so we understand it. So I'm not 100% sure on how the pacing will go, but we'll see. Yeah, let's see. So,
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for the outline, do you have a video up somewhere that we have to watch to complete
Yes.
the outline?
Yes.
Where can I find the video?
Okay, so you log into Blackboard. You'll go to course content in the menu. And then when you go there, you'll see week 1 folder. You'll click on week 1 folder. And then inside there, you'll see something called, it'll say lecture outline 1. And then there'll be a PDF at the top. And then a little lower, there'll be a whole series of videos for you to watch. And the videos actually, it should be,
Okay, I see.
yeah, good. No recitation today, correct? Yeah. I will be at recitation if you have any questions, but you do not have to be. But let's say after lecture, you start watching the lecture outlines because you were going to be in recitation anyway Wednesday, people. And then you have a question. You come see me. I'll be there from 12:30 to 1:20, just like regular. And then, Yeah, and at 1:20 I'll be gone. So I think Anthony, I see your hand up, and then Amy, and then V Daniel. Anthony?
Yes. Did you mention that we were going to be, a portion of the class was going to be taught by somebody else?
Yes, one portion of the class will be taught by Dr. Shehu, and Dr. Shehu teaches the Monday 8 to 10:45 lab.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Amy, question?
Yes. Are we going to be heavily using the book this semester?
No.
Is that just for help?
Yeah, so a lot of students find that my lecture outlines and the homework is enough. Now, the textbook, so what I would say is use the textbook. Like, let's say you get stuck on a topic and you email me, I will direct you to a portion of the textbook. You can also, another popular way to get more information is to use Khan Academy. That works well too. And you, like, as far as approaches to the class, you can use any of those resources to understand the material, and that's fine with me. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then V Daniel?
Yeah, it's actually Vivian. That's just my account name. I don't know
Thank
why.
you.
Mine's...
No worries. Vivian, yes, go ahead.
Regarding the scan again, I actually answered a question earlier. I don't think you saw it. I was asking, can I use Adobe?
Yeah, no, so I think part of this class, for better or worse,
Adobe Acrobat Reader, if I can use that one.
Yeah, you can use whatever is easiest for you that gets me PDFs. How's that?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, just Cam Scanner and Adobe Scan are free apps, but yeah, any reasonable method. I do prefer that, and any of the PDF makers tend to make small PDFs, so that's helpful for me downloading it. I do appreciate that.
Okay.
And then I think let's see, Michael, do you have a question?
Yes, sir. So for the schedule with the Zoom links, is that the correct schedule? There's on Wednesdays it's just lecture.
Okay, so everybody who is here today has a lecture from 11 to 12:15. So so there are two. So then half the class has lab on Monday and half the class has lab on Wednesday. Same thing with recitation. So we break it down into smaller groups for labs and recitations. So it sounds like, so sorry, I forgot which one you said you're in, but you either you have lecture twice a week on Monday and Wednesday, and you only have lab and recitation once a week. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So how do you know which day you have?
It should be on your schedule, and so it's what's called LDO1 are the Wednesday people, and LDO7 are the Monday people. And when you log into Blackboard, I think I've got the appropriate links. I just checked and it looked right. So it should tell you when you log into your Blackboard. Like, I have all the Blackboards that I teach, but you will only have the Blackboard for your class meetings.
Oh, so LD07 has lab on Monday.
You got it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Anthony, do you have a question?
No, I don't. My fault.
Yeah, no worries. Anybody else got a question? Oh, will there be a lab introduction on how things will work out? I'm assuming Monday. If you're in the Monday lab, Dr. Shehu will have an introduction for you Monday. I know you need to be there at 8 a.m. and because my students on next Wednesday need to be there at 8 a.m. and I start right on time. So please be there on time. And then if anything, we may finish early. Oftentimes we don't. I don't know if I see. Oh, there was a question. Let me just say something about the textbook. So yes, I will not do readings unless you ask me. Sorry, who had a question next?
Oh wait, so like textbook is not like a required reading; is more just a help out, like extra work.
You got it.
Okay, thank you.
At least that's what most students do for my class. If it's an issue, please talk to me about it because I will come up with assigned readings if that helps you.
No, that's fine. It was just, I was kind of confused. Like, how should I was about to ask, should I chronologically order it? Like, should I read the text first, then the lecture or whatnot? Because it just looked like a lot of work.
Yeah. No, most students, and the way that I've tried to organize the class is my class is pretty like self-inclusive, if that makes sense. Like what you see in the lecture outlines is then what will be in the Kahoot, which will then be on the homework, some of which will also be on the recitation, and then that's what's on the exam. So, yeah. Any other questions?
So just to be clear, on Mondays we have lab, and then right after we have lecture, right?
If you're in the Mondays, yes. So Monday people have lab, then lecture, then recitation.
And then on Wednesday we have lecture again.
And then Wednesday you only have lecture.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions?
I'm not too clear, Professor, with the L07. I understand because Monday was just said, but on Wednesday, originally when I signed up, it was 12:30 to 1:20. I think on Wednesday.
So check it out. As far as I know, everything I've been told is, so you have lecture from 11 to 12:15 Monday and Wednesday. That goes for everybody. Then, and then either on Monday or Wednesday, only one of the days, you have both lab at 8 a.m. to 10:45 and recitation from 12:30 to 1:20. Those should be on the same day, either Monday or Wednesday, but not both.
Okay, so I have those for Monday. I have 3 sections for Monday, but the Wednesday is where I'm having the issue. So you say for the Wednesday, it's 11
to 12:15. Yep, that's where we are right now.
And that's lecture.
That's lecture, yeah.
Okay, that's the only thing that's missing. Mine is different for the Wednesday. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, Professor, I got a question about the office hours.
Yeah.
So do we have to email you before we schedule, we go to the office hours, or do we just pop on?
Yeah, good question. So just pop in. And the way I run office hours, so first off, it's going to be office hours for both my Chem 1010 and my Chem 2000 students. And what I do is, I think that was you, Leroy. But if it wasn't, I apologize. So Leroy, you're there, and Kimberly and Michael are there. Oh. So
sorry.
That's okay. So let's say there are 3 people there, and I'm working with Leroy, and I work with a question for him. Then, Leroy, you can work on that while I take a question from Kimberly, and we work through that. And then we work through a question with Michael. And then I come back to Leroy, and I just basically work through one or two, like 3 to 5 minutes each. And so we work through questions, and so we take turns. So that's how office hours works. You do not need to schedule in advance. I am always there because I'm getting paid to be there, and you should have that sense of that I'm always there during those times, just in case you have a question during those times. Now, Amy, you have a question about study groups. Is your question how they work? Or
yes.
Yes.
I just wanted you to go through it because we already started one with some people. So I just wanted to understand if you actually did want us to meet, or if it's okay that we just like are in that group text.
Okay. So, and Amy, maybe you saw in the syllabus, I don't know, but you can get extra credit for being in a study group.
Right.
Perfect. Yeah. So the idea behind a study group is, if we were face to face, you would probably meet in person, and then usually sometimes during my office hours, and then we would all work together to help you solve problems. Now we're online now, and I take a pretty liberal approach to study groups, but I do need some documentation, meaning that if you're going to do a study group, so it should be for a total of 2 hours per week. And you have to, everybody in the study group who wants extra credit has to be there for 85% of the sessions or 85% of the weeks of the semester. So let's say 12 out of 15 weeks. So you can miss a couple, but you got to be there most of the time.
Okay.
Now, as far as documentation, so there should be one study group leader, whoever that is, who basically takes some, I don't know, 2 to 3 sentences about what you did. It could be, we worked on problems from homework 1 and lecture outline 2, or and then keeps track of who was there, and then that study group person will put it all into like a PDF or a Word document, and at exam 1, exam 2, and the final will turn in some documentation of like a study group log. Like it just lists the date, the times, 2 to 3 sentences about what you did during that time and who was there.
Okay. Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, sure, good. No, so the nice thing about being in a study group is not only do you get 10 extra credit points, which is equivalent to 1% of your grade, more or less, but if you're in a study group, your extra credit limit goes up to 15. And we'll have various extra credit opportunities, at least 2 through the semester, for you to get. And extra credit opportunities apart from study groups are usually worth 5 points. Question, let me see, this is the last one I saw. Yes, and these are self-organized by students. You can post in the discussion board for in the Blackboard to see who is interested in doing them, or you can email me and let me know, and I'll try and put you in touch with each other. But the point about study groups is they're sort of self-organized by the students. But I'm happy to do a little help with that. Let's see. Can we be in a study group with students from Chem 2000? I would say no. It has to be from this course. You could be in a study group with somebody from another section of Chem 1010, but Chem 2000 is a different course. They cover the different material in sometimes, to be honest, different ways. So I don't think it'll be as useful, and I would require you actually to be in a study group with some Chem 1010 students. Again, who they are and if they're in my section or not, that I'm not too worried about. Although it's best if they're in my section, because they're going to be going through this same, like they're the only ones who have the same homework problems as me, as the other students. Yeah, and if you guys want to be, so a good place actually to figure out study groups could be the chat for this, or any other lecture time that we have, because everybody's here then. So everyone in the group has to give you a report, correct? No. So the study group, so appoint a study group leader. And by the way, if you're the study group leader and at the end of the semester you ask me to write a recommendation, that's one of the things I will put into your recommendation is you were the study group leader. And again, if it's an issue and 2 people want to be the study group leader, that's fine. Anyway, so yes, but I only need to hear from study group leaders at the first exam, at the second exam, and at the final. Just a log of who was there, what was done, dates and times. All right. There's one group, yes. Good, yes. Thank you, Amy. What we should do about we do it without lab people. Oh, you mean people who were in the other lab? Yeah, that's fine. Because you're gonna be doing similar, if not the same labs. And I would say most of your study group time will probably be dealing with homework and recitation. So I don't think that'll be an issue. All right, so I think Michael, do you have a question? And then Ihonanya, and then Kimberly, and then Cindy. Michael?
Oh no, sorry, that was just still up from last time.
No worries. Ihonanya. No, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that.
It's okay, you tried. That was good.
Thanks.
It's just about the study group. Okay, so if someone was to join, let's say mid-semester at some point and join the group, do they still get the extra credit, or does it have to be from the first week?
So no, they don't, unfortunately. And I would ask that even so, some people just may not be able to join from the, and you don't have to join this week. I would suggest you start this week, um, but as long as you're at, let's say, um, I think there's 14 weeks. So, and as long as you're at 12 of those, then you're fine. So, but if you're at 6 of them, I think I would ask that study groups, if possible, still accept people who can't be there as often, but you won't get the extra credit. The extra credit is specifically for a semester-long commitment to work with a group of students. Like, that's how you build community, I think, in this class. That's how you support each other. And anyway, so I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that answers it. Thank you.
Sure. Kimberly, and then Cindy.
Hi, Professor. So earlier you mentioned the calendar about the homework due dates and everything. So when I go on to Blackboard, I don't see it. I just see the schedule from the syllabus. So for me, at least for me, it's a little confusing, the schedule to know what is due.
Sure, Kimberly. So, but did you go under course tools and then look for course calendar?
I don't see the course tools.
Does anybody else see course calendar? If they look under course tools, or Leroy does.
Go through quick links.
I don't see it.
Go through quick links. Is course calendar in quick links? Or there's just something else in quick links?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, sorry, my view is a little different, I think, because I'm the instructor. So take that, give that a couple minutes, Kimberly, and if you still have questions, we'll come back to you. Cindy, go ahead. Oh, what about, was that your question, Cindy?
Yeah, it was about the lab. It's actually a two-part question. So, are we allowed to just join one study group, or we could join like multiple ones, and all you need is just the recordings of who was there, etc., etc. And also, I was just suggesting the lab people one because I thought it would be easier than everybody kind of like. But from my understanding, I guess there's already a study group. I didn't even know you could do it through Blackboard, but I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, like I'm available for whichever. But okay.
Yeah, Cindy. So go ahead, post in the chat or email me if you're. So if you don't hook up with anybody today to be in a study group with, email me, and then I'll put out an announcement for people. Anyway, like I will give you about a week to sort of figure this stuff out to get into a study group before. But yeah, so I think being in the same one with your lab would be useful. I think about 5 to 8 is a good study group size as well, because if it gets to be too big, then, but again, I'm not going to place any limits on it. Here's what you want to do for a study group. You want to find a study group where it's not, I hope it's okay to say, where it's not a waste of time, where if you're going to spend 2 hours a week, it's actually useful. So take a week or two, figure out what that looks like, join in, and I will let you guys take care of that. And I will help match people if you want. But yeah, so think of it as something we're going to figure out over the next week. All right. Let me, Leroy, you have a question? Sorry, Leroy, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I meant to put my hand down.
Oh, okay. No worries. All right. Good. We've got some people in the chat talking about it. Oh, it says the homework. Right. The homeworks are due January 30th. Perfect. The lecture outline is due the 24th. So yeah, and those might be the first 2 assignments. But all of the homework. It looks like all of it, but it's just homework 1. I think there's 18 questions. I know some of them are pretty small, some of them are a little longer. So Cindy, do you have a question, or I still see your hand?
Oh, no, sorry.
No worries. Yeah, that was easy. Okay. All right, so what I'd like to do for the last 15 minutes, so first off, if you have any more questions after 12:15, or let's say this, yeah, after 12:15, I'll stick around to answer them, but I do want to do the Kahoot and at least get it started so that when we come to lecture on Monday, we are ready to do it. I'll show you what that means. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to go to it now. There we go. And I'm going to start the Kahoot. This is what it looks like on my end anyway. And here's what I'll need you to do on either your computer or there we go. We'll start. So far, so good. And again, this is what. Good question. Go ahead.
Just give us some time.
Yeah, of course. And again, this is what we're going to be doing Monday, so be prepared for it. When you get here, I'll probably set up about 5 minutes early, and with just this screen so you can log in. And then we will plan on getting started right at 11 a.m. or very close to it. And again, so what I've put together for today is just a little review of some of the things I've said as far as how the class will run. On Monday, the Kahoot will be about Lecture Outline 1, which you will have just turned in Sunday night.
Excuse me, lecturer?
Yes.
Yeah, so where I am right now in Kahoot, it says title and description.
So you go to kahoot.it. Is that where you went?
Yes, sir.
Because, okay. So.
It should say play store. You just click on play.
Play. Yes, there you go.
Kahoot.it.
All right, looks like, and we've got 42 people in here so far.
I'm yet to be in, please.
Sorry, go ahead and say that again.
So, Larry, can you speak quiet? So please, I'm on Create Kahoot. Is that where I go?
Just playkahoot.it. Oh no, that's, so you need to just www.kahoot.it. There. Looks like we got 44. So www.kahoot.it, just IT. Oop. And if you go there, it should look like this as soon as it loads. And then you can enter that game pin, and I'll put that back up. There you go.
So I'm there now. I need the, okay, thank you.
Sure.
7707, enter. Okay, I'm in.
Excellent. Anybody else got any questions? We're getting there. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And I think you can join midway. Let me go ahead and do that.
Hi, Professor.
Yeah.
I don't have the same page that you showed.
So this one?
I went to www.kahoot.it, but I don't have that page. It doesn't show me the page to put the pin.
So double check your address, because it tried to autocorrect to a couple other things there. So give it a second shot. In the meantime, though, I think we're there. So let me show you how it works. And if you've had trouble getting there, we'll do it again after class, because I do want to make sure everybody can get there. In the meantime, I'll start. Introduction to class. First question, are you ready to begin? You have 30 seconds counting down here. And I will tell you that for this one, all of the answers are correct answers, because I just want to see where everybody is, okay? And there will be several questions like that. It's like, I don't care, just choose one of the answers. Let me know where you are. And the majority of people are ready to begin, I'm happy to say. So, and the scoreboard doesn't matter. Nothing's worth any points this time. Here's a question that's actually covered in the course. It says, how many hours should you plan on studying outside of class time? This one, there is one correct answer based on what people have told me. But again, so, and if you didn't get her, part of this one is just to review what I suggest. So let me pause for a minute and say 13 is the hours that students have told me. Like when I poll students at the end of the class and I say, how many hours did it take you? The average or median is 13. Some students will spend more. Some students will spend less. I have had students who spent 25 hours per week, or at least that's what they self-reported. And they, were taking one class at the time and they really wanted an A in the class. Lucky them, eh? But everybody's in a different place. I just want to set what I think are relatively realistic expectations, right? There is a lot. This is a 4-unit class. 4-unit classes are supposed to have 10 to 12 to 15 hours of homework. And in chemistry, like in a lot of math and physics classes, we take that pretty seriously. So just be prepared. Everybody's at a different place. That's fine. Let's see what the next one is. What's the best way to get in touch with your instructor? So this one, I marked email directly as the correct answer, but email through Blackboard is fine and a good answer. Blue, stop by office. Normally stop by my office would be the best way, but stop by office hours, I would say, is a good answer. but literally stopping by my office on campus, of course, we won't do that this semester. But yeah, stop by office hours, email directly. Yeah, actually, those are both good answers. Email through Blackboard, that works too, as long as it comes to millerww@pgcc.edu. That's perfect. Let's see if we can squeeze in one more. Oh, where are office hours held? Good. And if you don't know the answer, that's fine. This is partly to figure this out too. They are on Zoom. So I will not, personally, I don't know about Dr. Shehu, but for me, all of my office hours are through Zoom with links in the Start Here page of the Blackboard site. So just be aware of that. In fact, every part of the course I run through Zoom. Let's do one more. Oh, here's one. This might be a little harder unless you're in the Blackboard. I think that's right. 2 to 2:50 Monday. Let's go right here to the Start Here page. Monday, 2 to 2:50 in Zoom. Right on, folks. Good job. And there are some more questions here, but they're all just informational about the course. It's all material that's in Blackboard. And so I'm going to stop there. I'm going to take more questions if you have them, but otherwise, you're free to go today. And then this Kahoot, excuse me, is not a graded assignment. The one starting on Monday will be, and it'll be worth 4 points. And the Kahoot will be based on participation on Monday, so just make sure you're there. And so I'll stop sharing now. I will stop recording.